Hello everyone, and welcome to TheKiest's TO OPERI series, episode 1. And what is OPERI? Well, I've kind of got it here on the side on my window here. It's where I kind of go over kind of my thought process of how an event was ran. And so OPERI is just the acronyms of how I figured I'd break it down into the 5 sections of the origins, which is more telling about the idea of the event before it even became announced, and just, you know, conception between friends and what's in my head and stuff. Then preparations. Oh no, I'm gonna get called out for not spelling this right. And then execution, the preparations, and this is actually once the event is, you know, figured out, then this is actually doing pretty much everything from creating the event up to the event itself, if you will. And everything needed to do those steps. Then execution is everything that happens during the day of the event. And then reflection is reflecting on what happened that day. And this is more about proving, if you were to not change anything directly, it would be, I guess it's more about reflecting on what the preparation, execution of everything is. It's not adding anything new. So I guess you could say it is like a review kind of a thing, and then iteration is, you know, new changes or features, if you will, which it will make more sense when we go through these in the other episodes and so on. But now that I got that out of the way, so Salty Sunday 3. Sorry for the origin. So this was the third Salty Sunday I've ran. Yes, it's a very generic name, but originally this was kind of a smaller Columbus-only event anyway. Name's too catchy. I might add Columbus in front of it. I don't know. There's too many out there anyway. I've never been a big fan of naming everything the same thing, but the event's rare enough, so I kind of figured I would go with that. So, Salty Sunday 3, the last one was done 2016, I believe. It was a long time. There just wasn't really a good period to run it, I think, and the scenes were kind of becoming new again with the new games, like Street Fighter V was starting to, you know, it's been out 3 years. Tekken, the scene isn't what it is today, so it's kind of like we just got a huge swath of new people, so I figured it was another time to do another Salty Sunday. But to kind of go back on what this event is, for those who didn't go, this is a Money Match Challenge Day. 2016, I was kind of in the mood of running events on demand, and what I mean by that is if you go to a lot of events I feel are cookie cuttered out, where you pretty much go and you have your 5 event games. Or if it's Smash, you might have your singles, doubles, amateur bracket. Yeah, singles, doubles, amateur bracket, or you might but they all kind of feel the same. You go to the same location, you do the same entry fee, same pop bonuses, you might even get the same time stamps as like when the events are and things like that. Streams, that layout's going to be same. It's just all the same format, all double elimination bracket. But then what happens is the players on the side, they're the ones who kind of are looking for the expedition matches. They're the ones kind of doing the money match stuff, and you get that sometimes at these events. It's not as highlighted, I think. The bigger thing was in Smash's case, amateur bracket's a lot more popular, so that means there's even less setups available to do money matches at the larger events, unless you specifically sabotage your event to provide setups to do these things, which I'm not a big fan of. But the point is, I felt that there should be an event where the TO himself doesn't have to do as much, and it's more of players, hey, walk in with your money and challenge each other. So as I advertise it, if you go to a tournament, you usually pay about $10, and an average player goes 3-2 or 2-2 or something like that. So it's roughly about 4 to 5 matches. So if you've just challenged 5 people to $2 money matches, then essentially you're getting the same experience, but you might win some of those, so you might be able to keep playing. But you get to choose your bracket. So you could go after, so everyone has their reasons why they go to a tournament. You might want to play someone who's just out of your region. You might want to play your rival because, you know, he bopped you the last time you played 2-0 or something for 5th place or whatever. You might want to play the best player, actually, because, like, my experience was I'm usually trying to play really good people, so I have something that so they can expose my bad play quicker than the other players that I'm more reliably able to beat. Kind of that, or even a celebrity thing, where you might go to a tournament where Justin Wong or M2K is at, and you want to play him in a match, you might challenge him to a money match. It's almost, you could do the donation things like that too. So and then I always try to tell people at Salty Sunday they could do other challenges like for food or for like beverages and stuff. But the big thing was there's no tournament bracket, and it's all up to the players. Players get to set up other expeditions and stuff. And that's what Salty Sunday's always been, and at least my definition of the money match themed day. Maybe I'll change the name in the future, I don't know. Probably stick with just this, because there isn't really one in the Midwest that has, or at least in Ohio. So I'll probably just stick with this. So that covers the origins, I think. And pretty much, yeah, it was just, I spent so long, because that was the part I forgot. You can't really do this event like all the time. I feel like maybe 6 months minimum is the most. If you do it all the time, people will just, they're not going to do challenges. They'll be run out of money, or they're just not, the tournaments kind of like can kind of cover the niche. It's about it's about doing that time. You kind of want to get to that point where you're like, man, I haven't played that guy in a while. I'm going to challenge him. That kind of mindset. So, man, I just happen to know people named Mindset and Soul. Just going to use those two words a lot. So there was just time to just do it again. Brand new staff and stuff, and Donato's was great. So preparations, we'll go over that, which I guess speaking of Donato, so these are going to be kind of the same across the board with these episodes. So venue, so pretty much I have about 4 to 5 venues to pick from. Decided to go with Donato's. That's where we do our Tuesday night fight night stuff. It's a pizza bar. It's only problems parking, but on Sundays, which we were going to definitely do this on a Sunday, because it's just easier to not get conflicted with other events. So Sunday at Donato's, all the parking is free, including all the metered spots. I mean, obviously a place with a fire hydrant, don't park there, just no. So that was easy enough, and Sundays is usually pretty good for Donato staff too. Coincidentally, the day I picked happened to be the Super Bowl, so people got to watch the game after they lost their salty money or whatever. That was kind of a coincidence thing. I didn't mean to do that on purpose. And kind of skip ahead. I guess I'll do the more generic ones. So streamers, usually I either go to Manakate, I'm never going to pronounce his name here, Manakete TV, which is run by Soul Calibur, or I go to Matchstick Melee, which is ran by Matchstick. So one with Matchstick, I approached both of them because Donato's only has one stream, and I figured maybe 2 recording setups, but I didn't know how many Smash were going to go, so Soul ended up not going for whatever reason, which was fine because there wasn't really much Smash money matches anyway. We just did mostly Street Fighter stuff. So after the stream, I usually try to get Matchstick or one of those guys and just, alternate who's going to do the stream, who's going to do the recording. The other thing was to try to schedule a time based on challenges. We had more Street Fighter 5 players coming in from Cleveland, so I just made the stream schedule earlier, and I knew Tekken players were usually working later, so I made the Tekken stream schedule later. So it was just that kind of simple stuff. Then the next thing that I did that's worth mentioning, because I guess that's all the generic kind of stuff, venue, stream, you get the Dave Super Bowl and all that. I guess I'll mention staff because that'll be a future thing. I had me and Zion. Zion was helping me take on challenges online and stuff, and I'll get more into that in a sec with the preparations and execution part that we're still in. But yeah, Zion helped me with that. Soul always helps me with stuff, and then Matchstick did his own thing. Usually I just go, hey, you can make your own assets or whatever when it comes to events like this where there's not really a salt's the theme here, so that's pretty simple to do. So this next part I'll call Flair, and this kind of has to do with the challenges too. Flair is what I refer to as how you make your event different from the other people's event. CEO does the wrestling theme, Combo Breaker, does like things like the mystery tournament, or even if in majors in general, that's where you have your arcade cabinets, or that's where you have your game demos and stuff. That's all Flair. Flair is what makes like majors, the good majors, great, but really you technically don't need it to run a tournament. You can just do tons of setups, lots of people, high pot bonuses. That's kind of just all standard across the road. It's the flavor, it's the extra oomph to it, if you will. So what I typically do, just like with the last one, I did something called Salty Levels to kind of promote just a random EXP, get the levels, so I can just have a mandatory update thing instead of like, oh, hey, we got a new challenge. It's I can just, instead of, everyone will see the challenges and people can just you just raise the levels up. And I thought maybe I could even make this more of a crowdfunding thing in the future, but for now it's just memes. Next was getting the record sheets for the challenges. This is what Zion was helping me with. We had like the initial challenges recorded, but essentially a Excel doc exists that has something similar to this. So pretty much it's just simple. Yep, mirror here. So player one, what the game is, score eventually, and then it's going to have what the stakes are. Most of them were like $1 money matches on this one, or if someone sponsored it. Special match conditions, like if you had to do a mirror match, or like Nina, you picked your opponent's character, which usually happens when a lower level player challenges a higher level player. They'll play their alternate to kind of make it more fair and challenging, if you will. And then if the challenge is made online, which, you know, for the online challenges, it just creates the hype thing. It's where the call-outs happen. So just printing the sheets out to do that thing. The thing that changed on Salty Sunday in general was the ability to promote or sponsor matches. I kind of wish I used the word promote instead, because that's like the official boxing term, I think. Where if I wanted to see a challenge, I could put money down to see said challenge, but unfortunately all the challenges I made, none of those people showed up for them. So I ended up just promoting like the Tekken Columbus team tournament instead. And then finally, which kind of goes in prediction too, that I did different is no one needed this, it turned out. Like, I think one guy did, but I actually had a change box so people didn't have to go to the banks to get 1s and 5s, but everyone was pretty prepared, it seemed like. I always make a message to, like, say, hey, do it anyway, but in this case, it was just that happened, So what's weird about Salty Sunday compared to other events, there's actually a little more preparation, because you're doing, there's no, like, Smash GG or anything like that to do specific, like, money matches that you're lining up, like an expedition thing. Closest thing I think is Match Arena, which I'll go more into that in the iteration part of this. So it's one of those you have to like monitor the Facebook posts, see people actually seeing the challenge and accepting it, because you might challenge someone but you need to tag them correctly, or you reach out to that tag guy like, hey, we're Salty Sunday's happening, let's do it and stuff. So that covers preparations. It's a pretty simple thing. I make the page. You just do a Facebook page with the stuff, which I'll link in here. I don't know if I won't link in here. People who went to the event will know, because I'll be linking the video in the event. So anyways, execution. So now we're talking about the day of, and this is just kind of more what I saw that happened. This is the objective side of it. So I came in at 11, and I think announced the event at like 11:30, 12, but again, it's a player focused thing, so really the event's not going to happen until the players show up. There's no hard deadline. There's no point to it. I could do a thing like that, but again, it's for whoever can show up. Like if 2 people can go play each other and they can only play each other at 11:30 in the morning, I want to provide that pretty much. But the thing that happened was we had a few cars come in, and everyone was really shy about just diving into the challenges. They were called kind of warming up instead. I would have even I did a few challenges with like a quarter or something, but like there were some people there that could have done stuff. I think what some people try to do that I might explain is they feel like they have to play the guy once. There's no like run back, so they don't budget for it. So the guy they really want to play, they'll go like, all right, first to 5, like first to 3 $5, or first to 10 like $20 fight or something like that. Like you could, cut that up so you can have rematches and do a series like that. That'd be actually kind of interesting, where you start the day off with a best of 5 against someone, and then you end the day with a best of 5 against that same person. See how maybe you improved later, or just a different mindset or stamina fight, even kind of a thing. And then during so we had SF5 up for quite a while. I think it was, but I think most people got in around like 1 to 2-ish, which that's when it started all picking up. I think every setup at one point had a challenge going on, except for a few here and there. Once people kind of realized that, oh, if I challenge this guy to a game I've never played, but he has for $1, I can then challenge, you can do the vice versa, where it's the same dollar on the line, but we're not playing a different game. And you realize that that single dollar is just being passed around like several times and stuff, or even like a 3-way loop or something like that. So yeah, the stream looked like it was doing really well. When we got to the crew fight though, especially with Street Fighter, that place was getting lit, and that was great. I missed the Tekken fight because I was kind of lightheaded, but we kind of switched to Tekken a little later than I would have liked, because a lot of the big money matches I think that were planned happened off stream. It would have been nice to have them when we were there and stuff. just didn't get to it. The other execution thing was we had a upstairs setup for one of the players who is don't know the correct 2019 politically correct term for this, so I'm just gonna go with handicap because that's what all the signs still say. So pretty much a handicap player can't make it to our basement. So we had a few setups upstairs. I think they got like streamed or recorded via like phones and stuff, but there were some hype matches, and I believe, and I don't know the MK scene that well, but it's a really good player. So that was, I actually played him in Street Fighter, and that player was pretty good. So that was fun. And yeah, didn't really have any problems with anything really. Oh, I guess I missed that part. The venue was flooding a bit because all the snow was melting from the blizzard, but it didn't. It only knocked out a corner when it was never crowded because of it. Like no one really. I mean, some people noticed the smell because that just happens. So I think that kind of covers with execution. Like all the sheets were being filled, people were playing money matches. Just took a little longer than I would have liked for money matches to start. Smashers didn't show up, which if they did, well, depending on which Smashers showed up, they might have got more people to get interested in stuff. And I guess that kind of covers execution. The final ended with Jenga because that was one of the original challenges, but I guess people didn't even know I had Jenga there, so I need to be. I kind of mentioned that in reflection stuff, so I guess we'll just mention that. So reflection is like somehow, I guess the problem is like presenting like which games are available. I don't know, there's probably a better way to word this, but you all get the point, and I have it in my notes here. So like I had several board games from my previous mystery events, like Jenga, like 3, which is tic-tac-toe where you can't scratch, other board games like that, and I had a PS3 with Dive Kick and Street Fighter 4 and all these other, and used in Street Fighter and an Ultra Street Fighter 4. And Marvel 3. Like, I had all these other games, but people didn't really know what was available and stuff, so gotta be kind of a way. Maybe I just need like a setup sheet. I'll just put that there. Where when someone brings in the setup, they can just have like a form they fill out and they just plop it next to the setup, and then they know what games are there for people to do it. Advertising, this was the only time I advertised outside of Columbus for Salty Sunday, so I think we kind of need to step that game up, whether it's a trailer or even making a trailer for like a match. We had a Columbus versus Cleveland Street Fighter 4v4 that was really good. That would have been cool to highlight that a little better for people to kind of get excited for it and stuff. We can do stuff like that. That's not difficult, especially when Matchstick and Soul have a lot of that experience with the footage already. You just put a simple, I think maybe even just a 30-second UFC like trailer thing. The big thing I have to do next time is definitely create the Salty Guide. This is more about like, when is it there's some people who are new to the money match culture, and then there's other people that think money match culture is one thing but not the other. Personally, I never was a big fan of money matches because I always thought the reason people money matched because they really needed something on the line in order for them to play the best series they possibly could against someone, which I've never been that way myself, and thus I never did money matches ever. If people wanted to play me for real, I'd play them for real because it's the integrity of the game and the competition and all that stuff. But at the same time, it is fun for other people when there's something on the line too, and you know, and again, this event's more for the players, so I didn't really mind if that was against my philosophy on money matches. So it's if two people have to have $1 in order to turn it on, then let's have at it so that they can do that and get their series going and stuff. But the thing comes down to like when you can challenge low level players to high level players, you kind of get some low level players, they either don't make challenges because they feel they're not good enough, or the opposite extreme of they make challenges and they put in way too much money because they want to be nice about it. When again, this is more supposed to be about the spirit of the competition. Like if you want to donate $20 to the best player because you like them, then you sure do your thing like that. But if you're gonna challenge every other player with the, you know, like, and you're kind of, I don't want to say bad, but you're definitely the underdog in all of them. I'm not sure what the motivation is here. It's just if that person doesn't mind, I'm cool with it. I just don't want other players who are new to Salty Sunday come to an event and they see, oh, I have to challenge in order for me to play that top player, I have to challenge them with a $20 money match. When most of the time they're gonna, if they know they can beat you, they'll take your money for $1, okay? Unless it's like a reputation thing, like if it's two good mid players going against each other and people say one guy's better than the other, when that's when you can start throwing the higher rolls around. But when you know it's a person who's going to go 0-2 or 1-2 in a normal bracket, and you're up against the guy who's like the best in the Midwest or the best in the city even, it's a little different, I think. So I think I need a better way to do a salty guide of do challenges, budget better. You don't have to do $5 for everything. You could do like some $1 ones. Like I kind of mixed it up. I think I had a $5 one, and I think probably 18 quarter matches, as in like 25 cents. Something along those lines. Just kind of give at least the idea out there of how you can have a lot of fun at this stuff. Probably the other thing on reflections, just kind of what I was saying earlier with the stream execution. So that would be. Yeah, and I think that kind of just comes in more just enforcing the online challenges, or maybe having an incentive for doing the online challenges. Like, I'd have to run a different event to fund the thing, or if I don't care paying out of my pocket, maybe do something like if you do a challenge, then this is more iteration stuff too. But the point is, like, I can have a better stream schedule. You might even be able to stream it per match, and I just had a general like, hey, these are the games we're gonna do. That way, players have a deadline to try to get there. But again, I'm going to try to avoid that too, but kind of be reasonable about it. I don't know. It's something to think about. Again, it always comes down to, what's the whole purpose of the event, which I kind of guess I'll throw up into here, and it's to provide a player-controlled money match / call out, I don't know what you want to call it, day where we don't have to worry about a bracket or something, and TOs aren't the things. Like, a lot of people were asking me during the event, like, hey, can we do this? Hey, can we do this? And I'm like, well, of course you can. This is what you guys want. I just plopped Matchstick in a chair, and I told them matches will come to you. They'll tell you what to do. I'll just tell them that, like, hey, just play, but I'm not gonna say, hey, this is when we're doing the 5v5, or hey, this is the format we're even gonna do for the team fight. Like, the team fights, people were asking me, what should the format be? And my answer back to them was, whatever you guys want to do it, as long as, I guess Street Fighter I limited a bit because it was already running, they had already had the stream for 4 hours, I think, at that point, or 3 hours, a long time, and it was time for TheKiest's turn, so I told him, like, no, you can't do a round robin between all 5 members, but I would have been okay with that if someone was off stream, though, to be honest. It's again, what the player, I think it's what the scene wants is what you decide what you want those things to be. I'm not going to outline it out like the other events. Yes, TOs and other events should ask the scenes what they want, and they typically do. I'm just saying, like, at the event itself, it's more of, I'm not going to make any formal decisions. So I think that needs to there might be a compromise, in other words. I kind of ranted a bit there with the stream schedule. But at least I had a stream schedule this time. I think the previous ones I just didn't. It was just more of, oh, hey, I guess we're doing Street Fighter now. Let's line them up. And then when people stopped playing it, then it was like, all right, we'll move to the next game. And then a lot of matches got done offline. I don't know. There might be a better way, or just allow more recording setups. And here we go. Iteration. This is where we do our new changes. And the big one is Matcherino. I know I probably have this spelled wrong, but so those who don't know, Matcherino is a site dedicated to doing esports exhibitions, but recently they've been expanding out to more grassroots events, like 100% of what I do. One of the Godlikes monthlies had a Tekken pot bonus that was supplied by Matcherino. I'm not 100% sure how this all works, but I think the idea is you can create a match, and since people have to go to that page in order to like the match or something, then they're able to see sponsors, and then then Matcherino then per view will then put in a pot bonus to that event. Again, this is all just speculation, I'm not 100% how it works. It's the next thing I want to try to do for this big one, because if we could do if we get Matcherino involved for like the best Cleveland player in Street Fighter versus the best Columbus player in Street Fighter, and get that pot bonus thing going, then you might be able to even expand it to other cities where we get the best Indiana player versus the best Ohio player in a show match. And then if those states are willing to just visit a link and they don't have to pay anything, they just have to like put in a code or just click something, and then and then there's $200 thrown in, then that's going to be pretty powerful. And yeah, and that kind of goes to the next thing with the crowdfunding support too. Is if I can't do a match in Reno, maybe I just do something on my own, like I don't want to say Kickstarter because that wouldn't work, but something where I can go. I don't even know. I'm sure there's some. I don't want to just make essentially I just throw a pot and as in like a bucket at an event and go, hey, put money in this bucket if you want to see those two guys fight at Salty Sunday. Like I could do something like that, but yeah, I think these are kind of the same deal. The one thing that would be kind of nice too is to maybe automate a challenge. I'm torn on this because I like the idea of people personalizing their challenge on Facebook. You get some that just do a simple one-liner like I do, but then you get others that do their whole trash talk like, hey man, I'm doing a call out because this guy thinks he's good, but he's garbage, and then you take him out to the curb and whatever. Point is, you can add personality to your challenges. Maybe there's a way to do with automating too. Facebook's a little limited on it. Maybe I could do something like a Twitter bot and then you link the tweet on Facebook. I don't know. But at least something where they can fill out a form and then Zion and I or whoever's doing it don't have to keep track of the challenges online and then like automatically posts and stuff. So that'd be kind of interesting, but I'd rather do the Matcherino part. Salty Sunday overall was really great, I thought. I would even say in some ways better than the second one. The second one definitely had more challenges because a lot more smashers and other players were there, and those guys go deep when it comes to money matches. Other than that, and yeah, the whole vibe of the event was great. A lot of players met each other for the first time, and casuals happened. Kind of preferred they didn't, but everyone still did challenges once they realized that they could do poverty challenges like a quarter or a buck, or even just for like a drink or something, or even like I think one of the second match happened where the winner had to choose the character the loser had to play for a month, like stuff like that you could do for stakes and just make it kind of fun. And I think that kind of covers everything. So I guess for the last part of iteration is I'm not sure on announcement time, but this one I announced it way back in November or December. That might be too much time. Like for me, I think a tournament should be, I don't know, I feel maybe 4 to 6 months before the event happens. You should have it at least like dated and planned and somewhat announced so people, at least someone knows about it, so people can avoid your stuff. But at the same time, players don't need to do anything for that. They just have to look at the calendar and go, oh yeah, I got a tournament that day, because it goes back to what I said earlier. They're all kind of the same format across the board. So maybe with something like this, you need to do it a little sooner so people are thinking about it in the now instead of people making challenges back in December and then no one answering it, and then people not even know that those challenges were even issued when late January, February comes around. So maybe I just need to make the announcement period more like a 2 months in advance kind of thing. Trailers might help too, but I don't know, I gotta toy with that some more. So, and I think that concludes episode 1 of OPERI. Yeah, and again, I'll only do this after my larger tournaments, I think, or what I call I don't even know I have a name for it. I don't like using the word large because it's not really about the size. I guess I'll just call them TheKiest's events or part of the TheKiest's team, but it's not even really that either. Point is, it's not going to be the weeklies. I think the next one will be my Tekken Caliber one, which that'll be in 2 weeks. So yeah, I'll make a video after that one. So yeah, and yeah, feel free to. And then if you guys have any questions or stuff, or one other things, I recommend commenting. I know I don't like it. I'm saying that thing. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever. You don't have to like or subscribe my YouTube. That's fine. I don't care. It's for home movies like this. But if you have comments over the match, over just the event itself, or just questions of what I was doing, or how I even wanted to do this as a TO kind of a thing, feel free. Or you can just DM me or whatever. And that should feel like I need to plug something else, but I don't. Nope. Salt's bad for your health, but it tastes really good.